Leo, hello, and welcome to your summer 2025 shapeshift reading, where we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the summer season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by the Unveiled Tarot, a new deck by comic artist Jesse Lonergan. All right, Leo. What is the shape? Sorry, I like this deck to be all the cards facing the same way. Okay. Let me just fix that. All right. Great. What is the shape shift for Leo? I'm already getting this vibe of like holding on to something really tightly and needing to kind of open up and let it loosen up or let it be out, something. Okay, maybe that's just a separate thing. Let's see, what's the shapeshift for Leo this summer? Happy birthday, by the way. The shape Leo is shifting out of this summer. Okay, this is a lot. Maybe we won't take this whole thing. I guess we'll take the first card that came out, which was the Priestess. So this is sort of like playing a mysterious role or like donning this air of mystery, the keeper of secrets. I guess that does go along with that sort of like clamped feeling I was feeling in the beginning and like needing to sort of open up and reveal and let it out. There's something sort of, again, veiled, mysterious about the Priestess. I like this particular Priestess because it's the Unveiled Tarot. So it's unveiling something, revealing something in each card. So here we're seeing like a punk singer in a punk band or something like that. But then like when you look closer, it's unveiled that this punk singer is a priestess, is like a high priestess, is a keeper of great knowledge and secrets. So Leo, it's like that's you're giving this sort of like punk performance, but really you have the deep wisdom, the deep knowledge of something. Interesting. What more can you tell me about Leo's shapeshift this summer? What are you shifting into? Yeah. Okay. So I guess the Fool keeps coming out for you, and I'm just warning you that this deck, the artistry is of the times. So take that for what you will. But here we see a pundit, someone up at a podium giving a speech, but it is revealed that they are actually a clown. So like, look at this with me. What is this There's sort of this reversal. So we see you, this is very Leo in the sense that we see two characters kind of in the public role, playing a public role on a stage, on a platform of some sort. In one sense, it is revealed that the person is like actually has far deeper knowledge and wisdom and intuitive psychic knowing than they put on. And in the other case, they have far less intuitive psychic knowing and understanding than they put on. You know, it's like they're dressed in a suit, but actually they're a clown. And then the center of it all is this Chariot, which just sort of, I don't know that this is a traditional shapeshift, but there's something about moving away maybe quite quickly, because we're seeing these race cars. It's like they're race cars, something moving very quickly, But what's being revealed, you think it's a race, which is like just a game, but what's actually revealed in the card is that it's a warrior, a chariot going to battle. So it just looks like a competition, but it's actually a battle between either these two parts of you, or thinking you're a priestess and thinking you're a clown. Or maybe these are two characters in your life. What is this, Leo? Is this like imposter syndrome? You think you're just a punk singer, but really you're the priestess. You put on the suit and you give the big speech, but really you think you're kind of a clown. And these two parts of you are not only competing, they're kind of at war with one another, constantly sort of battling within you. Thinking you know it all, to thinking you know all of the secrets of the universe, to feeling like you know absolutely nothing about anything in the universe and you're just faking it. Okay. So maybe there's like events that are happening like quite quickly that sort of flip-flop you between those two states of being or belief about yourself this summer. This is specific. I don't think I've quite ever seen something like this in a reading before. We're going to use the Dark Exact Tarot to get some clarity. This is a deck by Coleman Stevenson. The original tuck box. We love it. It's been around for a while now, as you can see. Oh, interesting. So I just got finished saying flip-flopping between these two states of being within yourself. And then we got the Two of Pentacles, which is literally flip-flopping. Leo. One day, you're just, not that serious, doing whatever, but really you contain the depths of all of the secrets of the universe. And then another day, you're acting like you know everything, and actually you're just a freaking clown. You know nothing. And these parts of you are just absolutely ravaging each other in the arena. And maybe because it's the Chariot and we see race cars here, that flip-flop is quite quick. I mean, we could literally be talking about someone with like some kind of intense like personality experience, or yeah. Take it at whatever level resonates for you, but this is like, it's so intense. And with the Chariot, it feels like you're kind of, again, the battle that you're fighting within, it's like it's harming yourself. These parts of yourself are going back and forth and hurting each other. And maybe hurting people around you, but again, like take that as it resonates. More clarity on these like different states of being for Leo. Okay, for sure. 8 of Swords and 3 of Swords. This is like really difficult mental and emotional experiences, like mentally trapped in cycles of trauma. Induced by heartbreak, perhaps. It's sort of, again, with the flip-flopping back and forth with the Two of Pentacles, it's like re-traumatizing yourself over and over and over again. Interesting. Page of Wands also came out and wants to be over here with the Priestess. Sometimes you're very creative and feeling powerful in your creative expression and creativity. And like revealing your sort of inner artist and like letting those secrets like come out into the world and be expressed and be heard and be seen. right off the top of the deck, and other times you're the devil itself, you know, or this is how you feel. Or there is this like devil within you that like you can't even see it. Because I see this devil as like you can't see the forest for the trees. You're lost in the thick of your own woods. And there's really no scarier place. Interestingly too, the Priestess is card 2. The Fool is card 0. So again, there's a flip-flop back and forth. So this tells me that you're kind of at the first level of growth and development around this because of where those cards fall in the major arcana Fool's journey. You're very much card 0 and card 2. These are nascent states and experiences of learning about the self. So you're flip-flopping back and forth here at the beginning of a level of self-growth and understanding that you won't really get to fully move out of until you kind of pass through the flip-flop of it, which the Chariot, I think, does want you to do. But this particular, because the Chariot can move you to the next level of your life. But this particular Chariot is a race car track, which moves in circles. So it's like you have to kind of realize the game that you're playing with yourself before you can really get off of this track. And there are rounds to go through. You know what I mean? I just want to see if there's anything else. Yeah, focusing on work can be helpful, and like focusing on like when you get in your head and you kind of find yourself trauma spiraling in that way, like focusing on tangible things can be really helpful. Like make something physical with your hands, like do something real, do tasks. Even if it's like dishes, laundry, sweeping the floor. Get grounded back into reality so that you don't remain in that lost in the woods headspace. And then you can kind of get back into this like creative, powerful version of you headspace. And I would say, Leo, that part of the danger, like one red flag for yourself might be when you think you know it all. Or when you think you know it all, you don't know nothing. And that is humble pie that's going to be hard to swallow. So don't let yourself get there. Don't let yourself get to that place of, I know everything and I'm going to get up on this podium and I'm going to say about it and I'm going to talk about it. I think part of the learning curve of this is realizing the extremes that you're flopping between of I know everything and I know nothing. Because neither of those things are true. And there's something in between that takes some humility. It's like it takes humility from this side of you. And it takes acknowledgement and honor of this side of you to find that balance in the middle. Which is where you actually are, which is a state of like not knowing everything, but not knowing nothing. You just know what you know right now, where you are. And that's true of everybody. And then that like lets you have this level of humility that might pull you off of these extremes, the swing. Pull you off of the racetrack, the swing, the whatever, however you want to say it, out of the woods. off of a power trip or, you know, like whatever. I don't know what this means for you exactly. Okay, interesting. Is there anything else that wants to be said about this? Yeah, it's just we're getting repeat messages of the flip-flop back and forth. The flip-flopping back and forth will keep you in a Two of Swords limbo where you feel like you don't know how to make decisions and you don't trust yourself to make decisions and you don't know how to move forward because you feel like every time you do, you're just going to get swung back into this like imposter syndrome or overinflated ego and nothing in between, or like states of like trapped in trauma cycles. I don't know. There's something like this. Only take this as if it resonates, Leo. But yeah, I feel like we're okay. Physical activity would be really helpful for some folks, especially if you have like no movement in your life or if you don't do anything that gets your heart rate going. It's like part of what will help you find the balance between these like internal states that swing to the extremes of your personalities is like getting your heart rate up. I don't know. There's some sort of like physical, it'll help, whether that's like going for a run or something, going for a bike ride, something will get your heart rate up. It will help. Okay. Is there anything else? It's real specific. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles. That's what I was saying about like, you need to ground. You need to do something tangible and something real. The Leo card. Strength. Leo, I think you're at, let's look at this together. I think you're at your strongest when you are in that creative mode, because you are much less in your head and you're like tangibly making things. When you get lost in your own mental weeds, you will know that it's starting to happen because you will your ego will start to maybe like get inflated, or you'll start to feel you'll either start to feel extreme ego inflation where you think you know everything and nobody else knows nothing. And then it'll probably end in a crash where you think you're dirt and you know nothing. And so like when the ego's building up, that's that like devil lost in the woods kind of a like situation. And then it's going to pull you back into the swing. And that's when Queen of Pentacles, it's really important to get into something grounded, tangible, real. Clean your house, go for a run, make something, you know, to tap back into that strength, so that you're not kind of falling into your own traps. Because that's sort of really what this reading is about, is like swinging back and forth in your own, in two different states within you that are actually just like your own traps. Okay, let's end with a word here for you, Leo, from the postcards from the liminal space. Drink water, okay? You know who you are. Yeah, because you need to replenish. You need to like bring your physical state back into some sort of balance. Okay. Wow. Come back down to earth underneath that. Dang. Beautiful. A magician is only as good as their tools, Leo. A magician is only as good as their tools. dog is feeling very impatient with me. Okay, at the crossroads, totally. Yeah, I think you are kind of at a crossroads with this. You know, you might really be finding yourself like at a crossroads with getting pulled back into this spiral over and over again, or this cycle or whatever that is. And you're tired of the swings, the extremes, and like ready to kind of get a handle on this. And so maybe it's time to expand your tool set. A magician is only as good as their tools for managing your own personality or your own like emotional states or internal states. Here's one tool in your toolkit, you know what I mean? And here's another, like being able to come back down to earth and ground yourself when you feel yourself getting that like inflation, almost like taking you off the ground, off of reality. Okay. I think this reading is going to be, you know, resonant in varying degrees and probably pretty specific for some folks. So if it's not resonant with you, don't worry about it, is what I'm going to say. But to those of you who it is resonant, I hope it helps. And happy summer.